Welcome to Timeless Treasures, a collaborative exhibition by At19 and Shavana, a family-owned Thai brand with a history of over 110 years. The show stages a dialogue between art and jewelry, two worlds deeply linked through thoughts, crafts, and time, telling the story of timeless beauty and the enduring influences of Oriental art and design. In this exhibition, rare antiques from At19 are displayed alongside more than 80 pieces from Shavana, in which around half are actually on loan from private collectors around the globe. This is the coming together of two family businesses to tell inspiring stories of heritage and the preservation of traditional crafts. The opening room elements of the cosmos highlight some of the most prominent symbols in Chinese culture, those of the elements. Wind, water waves, and auspicious clouds are common motifs found in decorative arts of the Far East. This first piece by Shavana is called Longmen, or Dragon's Gate. Based on an ancient Chinese legend, it tells the story of a carp fish and its journey upstream against the cascading waterfall. One that could leap over the Dragon's Gate could potentially be transformed into a mighty dragon. So this bracelet by Shavana is a metaphor for perseverance and the reward of hard work. This magnificent tapestry made for the Qing court is a hand-embroidered silk and metallic threads on cotton, depicting two dragons playing with the flaming pearl of wisdom, decorated with emblems of Buddhism and tools of the immortals. On the background are filled with clouds. Scrolling clouds motifs, or Xiang Yun in Chinese, is an auspicious symbol of good fortune and prosperity. And so in this showcase, Shavana compiles pieces with auspicious clouds motifs in various forms. The circular green discs are jadeite, and they are called bead discs. They are ancient symbols of the heaven and the celestial realm. The earrings at the top, upon closer inspection, you might notice a tiny crane bird. In the Huizhong Emperor of the Song dynasty, crane amongst clouds signify an era of harmony and peace. In this showcase, a trio of bracelets are displayed, showcasing also clouds in various manifestations. In the top bracelet, if you look closely, a tiny crane bird also appears amongst the clouds. In the middle bracelet, you would notice one tiny black grayish cloud with thunderbolts coming down. The moral to the story is that on some day it might be a bad day, but eventually a good day would return with bright blue clouds again. Auspicious clouds motifs also appear in these artifacts. This is Amida Buddha from Pure Land Buddhism, made of carved wood from Japan's Edo period. On the Buddha's background are repeated motifs of scrolling clouds. This is the cocoon vase from the Han Dynasty. It is around 2,000 years old, and painted on the vase are ancient symbols of clouds. This is the Jifu, or an auspicious robe, made during the Qing Dynasty. 9 dragons appear amongst auspicious clouds again, and various other auspicious motifs. Below down here, these are Li Shui, or the pattern of deep sea water wave. In this room of the shadow, bats motifs are displayed. In Chinese, bats are called bianfu, and fu is a homophone for a word which means blessings and happiness. In this piece by Shavana, it is called wu fu, a pendant brooch made with an embroidered gold technique. Wu fu means 5 bats, and it reflects an ancient philosophical concept of 5 happiness of mankind. These are wealth, health, old age, love of virtue, and a peaceful death. Also in this piece by the Qing Emperor, it's a hunting chair made of rosewood, and the emperor used on his hunting trip. You notice 5 bats painted on the chair as well, and this is because it's an auspicious motif of blessings and happiness. In the rich tapestry of Asian arts, the relationship between nature, mythical creatures, and animals has always held a profound significance. In this central room, we honor these symbols from nature, flowers of the 4 seasons, and the divine creatures. In this showcase, pendant brooches are displayed, depicting phoenix with the peony flower and dragon with the flaming pearl of wisdom. Phoenix, or Feng Huang in Chinese, is the emblem of the empress, a symbol of elegance and grace. Dragons, or Long in Chinese, is the emblem of the emperor, symbol of power and protection. Red crown cranes are also an auspicious symbol in Chinese and Japanese culture. A crane bird is a symbol of longevity, a national treasure in Japan, because it was believed that a crane could live for 1,000 years. Cranes are also usually depicted in pairs, and that's because in nature, a crane has once mate throughout its life, and so they became a symbol of marital fidelity. Shavana represents 4 cranes among peony blossoms in this bracelet. Peony is the flower of springtime, a symbol of prosperity, while cranes are symbol of longevity. And so, together, they represent the concept of being prosperous forever. In this showcase, lotus flower in a red porcelain vase is displayed. Lotus flower, or lianhua, is the symbol of summertime. To the Chinese, the lotus flower has pods with many seeds. This represents the arrival of many offsprings, and so they became the symbol of fertility. In this showcase here, we delve deeper into the flowers of the 4 seasons. The earrings here depict Juhua, or chrysanthemum blossoms, the flower of autumn. Chrysanthemum is the symbol of longevity because since the ancient time, the flower is a major ingredient in making the elixir of immortality. The floral brooch on the right depicts plum blossoms or mei hua. Plum blossoms is the flower of winter. If you look closely, you might notice tiny dots of opals in blue, and these represent snowflakes that are attached to the stem. This is because the flower blossoms even when the snow falls, and so they became the symbol of strength and resilience. The earrings in green jadeite depict dragons and phoenixes symbols, the symbol of power and elegance. The terracotta here is from the Tang Dynasty, and it's around 1,200 years old. It is depicting the heavenly horse of Fergana. Here, 3 pendant brooches are displayed, showcasing jades in various forms. A flower basket with carved gemstones suspend nephrite jade depicting double phoenixes. In the center, phoenix and dragons suspend a white jade carving carved to depict a tiger hunting. 2 cranes among the clouds suspend a lavender jade carved to depict the peach of immortality. An antique coral is gracefully carved to depict a plum blossom along with other floral motifs. Shavana has designed this into a floral bouquet in a jar of blue and white porcelain. The design is depicting 2 literates exchanging conversation. This is an iconic piece. These 2 yellowish jade are carved nephrites from China, and they are over 5,000 years old. These are jade carvings from the Hongshan civilization, a Neolithic civilization in ancient China. The top is a depiction of a pig dragon, believed to be the earliest dragon representation in Chinese art. The bottom, a humanoid figure, is believed to represent the god of the sun. Shavana has designed these jade into a jabot pin. At the top are jade carvings that represent the feather of the phoenix, and Shavana has designed this into a pin that reflects a phoenix in flight. This is a byobu, or folding screen, made during the Edo period in Japan. It depicts flowers and butterflies during the springtime, painted on paper with gold leaf gilded. In this showcase, we display a corsage brooch with dancing butterflies. If you look closely, the butterflies could wobble, and that's because of a special technique called en tremblant, or to tremble. And this is because the butterflies rest on a tiny spring mechanisms. This is the peony earrings, and it depicts peony blossoms, the flower of springtime, a symbol of prosperity. This is a pendant brooch with 3 carved corals depicting roses. At the bottom is a jade carve that represents hulu or calabash. Roses and calabash together represent the concept of eternal youth. In this showcase, insects are displayed. Butterflies are a symbol of romance and freedom. This pair of butterflies, titled Kumo and Nami, has a Japanese flair. They are inspired by Hokusai's 36 views of Mount Fuji. One is inspired by the Great Wave of Kanagawa, the other, the clouds above Mount Fuji. In the center are cicadas, and cicadas is an insect that represents immortality. In Chinese culture, there is also a very auspicious symbol because sometime in nature, the insect perch on a high branch, sometimes in the mud and in the sand, but their only diet is pure dewdrop. And so for the Chinese, it is used to represent people who are pure from the heart. And so Shavana depicts the cicada holding a pure dewdrop made of opal. The beetle at the top here has its body made of jadeite carved to depict a cabbage. And in Chinese, a cabbage is bai chai, which also sounds like the word for hundreds of wealth. And so, cabbage is usually carved because it's such an auspicious symbol. The concept of an elegant life emerges as a profound theme that reflects the value and aspirations of societies. In this hall, we talk about symbols that are related to the livelihood of the people and symbols that have shaped the cultures of the Far East up until the present day. This pair of jewelry has its center depicting a Chinese character called Chuang Si, a symbol of double happiness, commonly found in weddings and auspicious ceremonies. This is an earring with one side that could be worn as a brooch. It depicts a scene from a fable written by Tao Yuanming called Peach Blossom Spring. It tells the story of a fisherman who delved into an ideal world, a utopia where there is no pain, and in that place only the peach flowers bloom. In the center here are jade discs which are carved to depict the Chinese cash coin, the money used in ancient China, a symbol of wealth and prosperity. When two coins are placed on top of one another, they are called Shuang Xuan, and that reflects the meaning of double completeness. Here are pagodas and Guanyin, Budai, Goddess of Mercy, and the Laughing Buddha carved and placed in a pavilion or a throne. There depicts the concept of worship to Buddhism. The piece at the top is inspired by Ikebana, the art of floral arrangement. There are various styles of Ikebana, which is a high art form in Japan. This is the representation of the Shoka style, which was popular during the late Edo period. Shoka style involves three branches arranged in an asymmetrical configuration. One depicts heaven, two depicts mankind, and the third depicts the earth. And so it represents the universe in one floral arrangement. These two pieces represent the bonsai, which is a hobby in Japan and China. It's the art of growing plants in a pot. Look closely and you'll notice a tiny turtle beneath the bonsai tree. And that's because in Eastern mythology, there's an old belief that the universe rests on the back of the turtle. This turtle is actually removable and all its legs and heads are moving. The leaves of the bonsai is made of jadeite carving that is carved to depict Jin Shan, or the three-legged toad, the symbol of money and wealth. Up here we have the earrings with jade that carved to represent tall mountains, and we designed it to have the clouds and the mist above the mountain. And these represent the San Shui landscape paintings of Chinese art. This is the blue and white porcelain from the Ming Dynasty. And this one is a very iconic piece. It's a terracotta called the Tang Fat Lady. In the Tang Dynasty, Chinese culture was at its height with the art and literature. And at the time, this was considered the ideal form of beauty for women. This is Hanakako, or a flower vase for Ikebana floral arrangement made of bamboo. Here we have pendant brooch that Shavana designed as a medallion depicting carvings of jade plates and turquoise. More jade carvings are displayed here with auspicious symbols such as bats, ancient dragons, and clouds patterns. You might notice that there's a lot of jade in this exhibition, and that's because to the Chinese, jade is considered the most valuable material, more than gold or diamonds. There's an old Chinese saying that gold has a price, but jade is priceless. This masterpiece by Shavana is titled Scene of Japan. The bracelet depicts a scenery of a Japanese garden with the Torii Gate, the mountain, the moon bridge, and pagodas, a pavilion amongst pine trees. This piece employs Shavana's signature technique called gemstone mosaic, where precious gemstones such as corals and sapphires are carved and cut to fit precisely on the pattern that was created. The scrolling clouds at the top are made of carved mother of pearl. This piece takes more than 2,000 hours in the making. In this hall, we display jewelry pieces on the mannequins to show how one could mix and match the jewelry pieces so that they could be part of one's life and that they could blend in with fashion and dresses of different styles. On the reverse side, we display gouache, or the watercolor paintings of the jewelry pieces. These are hand-drawn and they are two-scale blueprints that reflect the vision of the finished product. We display them here to honor the traditional art of jewelry design. In this corner, we tell a little history about Shavana. Our story began 110 years ago when a small jewelry shop was founded on Ban Mo district near the Grand Palace. It was called Mien Tek or Mien Te, which translates as continuous virtues. This is the shop front at the time, 110 years ago. This is my grandfather, the second generation. And so the business was passed on until the fourth generation, and the Shavana brand was founded to pay tribute to the passion of the founders, serving as a long-standing legacy in the making exquisite and timeless objects that are both beautiful and meaningful. Behind every Shavana piece is a journey of delicate craftsmanship and passion. Displayed here are images of our time-honored craftsmanship and technique, such as the piercing and the opening of the metalwork, the recutting and the refaceting of the gemstone, known as gemstone mosaic, and all the hand-making process in making and assembling the pieces. For Shavana, we stand in the preservation of traditional jewelry making techniques, where we believe in its beauty, its value, and we hope it continues for future generations to come. At Shavana, we believe that any objects that are made with thoughtfulness, with impeccable craftsmanship, and with love and passion would result in a beauty that stands the test of time, and they would have values that extend far into the future, truly reflecting the name of this exhibit, Timeless Treasures.